Really? What? This is beautiful. I love this. I love it. Hello, welcome to this video. My name's Dan, aka Lucen. I'm a singer-songwriter, music producer person who loves to also listen to music. And today I'm going to be reacting to TROYE SIVAN'S brand new album, Something to Give Each Other. So let's go. TROYE. So I know TROYE. He's my best friend. That's what I mean, I've listened to TROYE for a few years. I remember discovering him back when I was actually in Australia a few years ago. I just got Spotify for the first time. I know I was late catching on. Anyway, so I discovered like his album Bloom, and I discovered some of his earlier EP stuff. Really enjoyed his vibe. Like, it felt nice to kind of have like soft boy, gay boy energy in my life. Something that I felt like I've been missing a little bit in pop. Yeah, so I had a little moment where I was really into him. And then he kind of went away. He has now come back, had this like viral sensation with the song Rush, which is amazing. Like, he really harnessed the like TikTok era marketing really well. I knew the chorus of Rush like months before it came out, just because TikToks of his just kept coming up with him like kind of teasing the song. He just kind of smashed it, really. And so it ended up being a really big hit for him. So I'm excited to see him come back and kind of doing with such a big swing. It remains to be seen what the full album's going to be like, but that's what we're going to do today. But that's all I've heard. Rush is the only one I've heard, so yeah, I'm excited to dig into it. Before we get into all of that, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new and you like reactions that dig into the artistry behind the artist, getting into the lyrics, production, all of that stuff. And if you are a fan of the channel and you want to support me even further and watch this video with no cuts in any of the songs or anything, you can do so over on Patreon. I will leave the link for you in the description. Patreon's received quite a big upgrade recently, and I'm going to be following suit, so there's going to be loads of cool stuff happening on Patreon soon. I'm thinking of doing like some kind of live stream type thing on the regs. So yeah, if you want to be the first to see all those updates and actually be basically part of the community, then head over to Patreon and you can be. Also, make sure to leave your top 5 in the comments. I will be telling you my favorite song at the end of the video, but what people love doing is actually like ranking their top 5 in the comments, and I love reading them. I usually read them and reply on a Monday. Cool. Yep, let's do it. Let's do it. First song, this is Rush. I haven't listened to it that much, but I've seen all the TikToks and stuff. I love all the like 80s porno vibes as well in all of the marketing. It's kind of iconic. And it's about this, innit? I can't do it. Also, I don't have like an 8-pack. What I really love about this chorus is that he's like singing in his like falsetto, and then the like main hook is almost like all the boys at the party, all the gay boys around him at the party, like singing the main thing, and he's like there over the top like being all femme. Addicted to your touch, oh, I feel a rush. I mean, it's obviously about sex, right? And I feel like it's about the joy in it, you know, finding the joy in it. It's so good, it's so good. It's so good, it's so good. Yeah, I really like that. I think it's a really well-written pop song. I'm sure a lot of people might write it off as just like TikTok bait. And I mean, like, the song is certainly written to be a hit, you know, it's quick to the point, starts with the chorus, all those kinds of things, has the viral dance meme. It is made for that kind of TikTok generation, but at the same time, it is like this kind of ultimate celebration of queer sex. For me, it just feels really nice to have a pop musician singing about sex, like, and it being optimistic, all kind of like glorified, beautiful, exciting. I think for so many years as queer people, we've been taught to like hide our sex lives, partly because of like, you know, the heteronormative society and this weird heteronormative obsession with gay sex and how it's like, you know, the be all and end all. And so we kind of are taught to kind of like tone it down, but also like, you know, not to get too deep, but like kind of the post like HIV epidemic. I grew up in the 90s where gay sex was linked to HIV intrinsically. And so like, it was always something to be feared, and it was always something to be like kept in the shadows. And so for like TROYE to have the music video for all of all these sexy guys where it's just like, you know, really just the hot and sweaty kind of celebration of queer sex. It just feels right, and it feels that even in 2023, this is still kind of a rare thing. Although obviously there are certain things to do with like the fact that all the guys are completely fucking chiseled, body image vibes, that is a bit like, okay. On the other side of it, I do love that it exists, and I think we need more like celebration of queer sex. Not just love, but sex as well. Fuck it, like come on. Yeah, love it. Addicted to your touch, oh, I feel the rush. It's so good, it's so good. Also, to have like, although there is the kind of mask energy in that song, I love that Troy is kind of floating around as the femboy over the top, and I love that kind of comparison in the chorus, the way it sounds, the way it's like, it's almost like he's at an orgy and you've got all the guys being like, I feel the rush, and then over the top he's like, oh, it's so good. I love it. And like, he kind of represents the femboys in that way that, yeah, like I don't necessarily feel all that represented in mainstream pop. Big communication, tell me what you want. So it's about consent, translate your vibration, let your body talk. So it's about consent and understanding like each other through physical communication. To me, baby love, if you want to show me what you've been scheming up, if you want to let go. Trust the simulation, don't let it break. Every stimulation, promise I can take. You got my heartbeat racing, my body blazing, I feel the rush, addicted to your touch. Yes, there's a sense of like the anticipation of it, the fantasy of it, and how that just has really got him so fucking horny that it's really feeling such a rush. But yeah, love it. Amazing big pop celebration of gay sex, and for it to have a big moment, like, yes. Okay, cool. Next song, this is What's the Time Where You Are. God, I wish it was you. Oh, TROYE baby. Cool. I'm enjoying this slightly more laid back swung kind of rhythm, but it still has like intense, doesn't it? I'm feeling like my head's just in a distant time and place. Oh, I love this. Nice. Okay, I'm really enjoying the flow of this song. I love the way the rhythm and this kind of swung beat contrasts with the kind of big, open, swishy pad stuff. And he's like, I'm missing somebody who's off traveling the world and he doesn't even know what time zone they're in, you know? I'm okay with waiting if we're not nice. The way that you got me, baby. It's really like a feeling of yearning in this one. Certainly more of a romantic feeling than the first song, which is much more about lust. What's the time where you... It's really tightly produced. I love like the automation in like all the backing stuff, so like it can really frame certain lyrics, you know. It's tight. Love it. Oh yeah, there's a lot of detail going on, but it feels so like harnessed, you know. TROYE baby. It's like cooling down the phone, you know. But God, I wish it was you. God, I wish it was you. Nice. Oh, I love it. I love the intimacy in that last moment as well. It's like really dry on his vocal, really framing the lyric in a way that really is like, actually, as much as this is a cool vibe, I really miss you. And I really wish that although I'm out partying and enjoying myself, I'm still stuck in my head. I'm still stuck missing you, you know. Because it's like, even the party, the music is making me move and I'm grooving. I just wish that it was actually you who was like moving my body like that, you know? Yeah, really love that. That was so cool. There's so much detail in the production that really just gets me going. Like, and kind of has like a little bit of a mid-noughties energy in the way that there's like the kind of the sweepy synths and stuff, but it's tied down by this beat. But then right in the center you have his voice that kind of brings it back to that kind of real place, that intimate place, you know. Really well balanced, really well produced. Yeah, I like it. Tokyo just hit me like a wave. Where we ended up I couldn't say. I'm feeling like my head's just in a distant time and place. I spent just so long waiting for the signs. I thought I'd lost every feeling on the ride, and then you showed. Now the only thing I want to know is what's the time where you are. So he's met somebody like whilst traveling like in Japan, and they're of a different nationality, and now he can't stop thinking about them, and he's like, you know, gone back to Australia and is in a completely different time zone, and he's out dancing in the club and maybe thinking like, you know, even though I'm out in the middle, it's like midnight, for you were going to be in the middle of your day, you know, like, yeah. That's a very Australian problem to have, because Australia, they have a lot of different time zones. It's really big and it's really far over. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, like even within Australia, even if you met a different Australian, it's like, what time zone is it? Is it half an hour different from where I am? Because they actually have some places that are half an hour different. An interesting way to frame it, and I really enjoyed it. Yeah. I'm getting hot in my jumper, but I want to wear my jumper. Oh well, I'm going to have to take it off. Next song, this is one of your girls. One of your girls. Okay. Really enjoying the drum production and the bass as well. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Sick. Oh my god, I love it.
Don't speak, you said it. Look at you. Skip the application interview.
Amazing. Oh. Oh shit. Ode to the straight boy, isn't it? Oh, fuck. Wow. Oh. The production is so fucking cool. It's so creative. It feels like every section has something new to say. Like this. And even this section has like that light acoustic guitar over the top.
Look at you.
Very cool. Yeah, shit. It feels like TROYE is one of the only pop stars out there who's actually really, truly speaking about the gay experience. You know, to be like, I'll just be like one of your girls, I promise, you know, I just want to be with you. It's really like self-demeaning, isn't it? But we've all been there. Yeah, that was really brilliant. Like, so much pathos in that, like there's so much like, again, intimacy and vulnerability, but with production that really kind of amps up the vibe and brings it in line with the rest of the album so far. Like the production is very polished and very like fully textured and rich, and has so much kind of creativity going on. I'm not sure whether I would pick that style of production for a song that is quite so, you know, vulnerable in that way, but like I still appreciate it, you know. But like, damn, I'll just be like one of your girls. Like, what a way to put it, really. You know, I think like I was in the same boat back in the day when I was younger. I was at uni and there was this guy who I was obsessed with, and everybody was. He was super charming. I think he just flirted with everyone, but not because he was actually flirting. And like, when you're kind of a lonely gay guy who's like very self-conscious and very kind of self-sabotaging, and has grown up with a kind of difficult, fractured kind of teenage, you know, sexuality situation, as a lot of our generation was growing up in the 90s and early noughties, you know, the kind of promise of a straight guy is almost like a kind of fantasy that won't break your heart, you know. And so you get lost in it. And I feel like this is exactly where TROYE's coming from with this song. He's like, I promise, like, it will just be like being with one of the girls or your homies or whatever. Like, I promise it won't be weird. Just, you know, if you're lonely, just, I'm here. Which is, it's really sad. At its core, it is really sad to kind of be in that position where you kind of think so low of yourself that you would give that to somebody who kind of has all the power and actually maybe is just using you for some experiment or some exploration of sexuality that they don't actually want to be honest about. You know, Ollie Alexander from Years and Years sings about a similar kind of experience. It's a little bit more explicit in the way that he talks about it, and a little bit more like dark. Whereas this version of that story is kind of more intimate. But yeah, it's still like, it is great to be hearing somebody from TROYE's perspective and style singing something that like that, you know. Right, let's go on to the next one. In My Room, feat. Guitarra de la Fuente. I'm going to assume it's Spanish or South America. Very lush, Disney-like. Oh,
So in my head,
nice.
and I leave it like an unmade bed. Keep it messy, messy, messy.
Okay. I love the kind of vintage vibe that's like pasted over this song. It's very warm. It's nice. Fun. I love how creative and playful the production is. I think that's what it is. It has a verve and excitement to it. Yeah. I think the production on some of Troy's earlier work gets very ambient and too kind of bogged down in the ambience in some places, whereas this one kind of keeps it up, you know, still has those ambient things but keeps it tight, you know, which gives it more character. Probably quite a savvy crossover to have on this album, get him into the Spanish speaking music charts.
Maybe it's just admiration, copulation, oh yeah.
Nice. I'm loving the smoothness of this one. It kind of does, yeah, that vintage feel does kind of like really help kind of create a real smooth kind of, almost like Bruno Mars-y, ooh, hello, vintage kind of Motown throwback kind of thing, you know. Nice. Yeah, the production's certainly given me a bit of Stevie Wonder, a bit of like that kind of Motown vibe. Though, of course, I mean, he bucked a lot of Motown trends, but, you know, yeah, really cool. Enjoyed that. Loved the vibe of it. Yeah, a little bit more of like in the background track for me than the others we've heard so far, which have been a bit more like attention grabbing. In My Room, it was called. So it's about keeping it messy, right? Which is interesting. So in my head, and I leave it like an unmade bed, or I don't want to clean it up yet, keep it messy, messy, messy. And so there's problems that he's not facing. And it's like the room being his head, being his mental health, I think. Am I fucking 16? This shit's kind of depressing. All you're doing to me, because you mess me, test me, wreck me. Maybe it's just admiration, copulation, or adoration. No defense, infatuation. Oh yeah. And so there's this idea that he's got this almost like teenage fascination with this guy who's not kind of reciprocating, not giving him what he actually needs. And he kind of recognizes that like it's not a healthy obsession, but like in this song, he's choosing to kind of still keep the bed unmade, keep the room messy, even though he knows he should tidy up. I like the kind of like choosing to stay a teenager kind of vibe. You know, it's like, feels like a teenage romance and I'm gonna be a teenager and not clean my room up. My room being the inside of my head. I like the levels there. It's really well thought out, you know. Next song, Still Got It.
Cut my hair into a bowl after you told me that you
Okay, so he's still completely infatuated with this guy.
were scissors in hand. About the summer when we didn't know each other, I still got it back.
Yeah, he's still all broken up over this guy, even though he thought it was over it. Nice. Oh, nice.
Gotta remember, I think you'd like it though. Push me in the backseat of the
Cool. I really like how even a song without any drums still finds a way to fit into the style of the album, but also be so creative, you know.
I still got it back.
It almost feels like they've challenged themselves, as in him and the team, to create a song that sounds like it is still part of the vibe of the album, but have no drums, you know. It's like, it feels like a challenge, you know. And to me, they've done it, like, love that guitar solo. So 80s.
I still got it.
Cool. Yeah. Oh, oh. Oh, it's not over. What a fake ending. Maybe that's a reflection of the relationship, you know. They thought it was over, but it wasn't. This sounds like a 1975 song. Cool. Yeah, that whole last section felt like the kind of like ambient soundscapey bits of voice kind of production that a lot of the 1975 does. Yeah, really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed the kind of detours into kind of ambient soundscapey kind of stuff. Interesting that they managed to, make it still feel part of the album, even though it didn't have any drums. It does feel like the story of the song is this idea that I've still got it. You know, I bumped into you in the summer, like we were like, oh, hi, and then maybe this other guy's moved on and got what he wants, but like Troy's still stuck. And so I think that the whole point of the song having that fake ending was like to replicate Troy's feeling like, you know, this relationship's over, but oh no, but it's not, because he's still feeling it. He's still broken up over it. He's not over it, you know. Cut my hair into a bowl after you told me that you liked it like that. Wish I didn't care at all, but now I'm in the mirror with scissors in hand. Saw you at a party, said hello like an old colleague. Talked about the summer when we didn't know each other. It's bound to happen, I suppose, but fuck me, now I really know I've still got it bad. Maybe it was just like a fling, and maybe the other guy was like, that's all he wanted, and he got it, but Troy wanted more, and he's still stuck wanting more. Yeah, okay, so he's revealing a bit more. So, touched me in the backseat of a party bus on 10th Street, kind of confused me, both a couple of drinks in too deep. So it's like they've, you know, maybe had a little bit of a something, but like it's not gone anywhere, but all it's done is really confused me even further. Next song, this is Can't Go Back, Baby.
Go back, baby.
Nice chords.
I wish I could, but I can't go.
So it sounds like an old movie reel going or something.
This is me you're talking about. Put your love
Nice.
into. While I was singing songs about you, I wasn't there to see.
Oh, nice. I love the drum beat in this because it's not like a kind of groove, it's more like an insistent like Interesting that the song seems to be pushing forwards, driving forwards, and the song is about not being able to go back. He's getting pulled along by the beat even though he doesn't want to be.
Because I swear I do.
Yeah.
I can't wait to live without you.
Yeah, he's like, I need to get over you, I need to move on. Ugh, this is beautiful. I love this, I love it. Yeah, there's a feeling of like being changed by this person and wishing he could go back to how it was before they broke his trust. Love it. This feels like old Troy, but brought up to date, you know. Gorgeous. I really liked that. There's something about like a sad song set to a beat that is kind of insistent with the sadness and the intimacy that really just gets me going. I mean, the chords were lush, gorgeous, and really melancholy, and like then with the kind of the build up of that production over the top, it just was so gorgeous and so nicely produced and so deep and so textural and so ambient, but with this like thing just pushing you along. It's like you're trying to get lost in the memory of this person, and you're like, you want to be in it partly, but the beat is driving you forward, and it speaks to that kind of dichotomy between like knowing in your head that you need to move on but emotionally still being in it, you know. And it's so clever to like replicate that in the sound of the song, you know. That's just really nicely done. Really nicely done. Can't go back. I wish I could, but I can't go to the days when I thought I knew you. This is me you're talking about, your only friend. Put your love into the ground on my big weekend while I was singing. Oh, it was probably Radio 1's big weekend, maybe. I was singing songs about you on the TV screen. Don't know how he left the hotel. I wasn't there to see. So maybe there's like somebody that he was with at the time that he was written songs about and was singing about on the telly and disappeared from the hotel room, just abandoned him. Oh, okay, so maybe it's like he was cheated on. Maybe that's what it is. Like maybe the guy that he was with was actually cheating on him. Because in the morning, your hands around my waist, just as too. In the evening, on my mouth, could you still taste him? You know? Yeah, and it's like, I thought I knew who you were, but now you've broken my trust and we can't go back to the way we were before. I wish you weren't dead to me, so much to missing you, more than just my enemy, you are my lover too. And I hope you forgive yourself, because I swear I do, and it breaks my heart to say I can't wait to live without you. God. Fuck. I love that. Just like a sense of like really being mixed up in your feelings about somebody who's cheated on you, and you're like, I should hate you, but inside I still love you and I still forgive you. And even though it's probably not right to do that, And it's like, something's broken between us. I wish that we could get over and go back, but we can't because like it's been broken. And now I just need to be able to move on. Yeah, fucking great. So good. I love that so much. Okay, next song. This is Got Me Started. Really? Are we really taking that sample? Come on. I'm really over this like obsession with sampling so obviously to try and get a hit out of it.
Inching closer to the sunrise, my mind.
Yeah. Oh, nice. I mean, I'm liking the vibe. Whatever. That sample is too egregious for me to deal with. I think it's because I have such specific memories of that sample.
We've got that hot street.
It was like a meme at the time, you know. That's the thing, that sometimes when you sample the wrong thing and the listener has a specific link to it emotionally, it means that it can undermine what you're actually trying to do with the song, you know?
You just got me started, and I don't think I can stop it. Fuck it, just like this body did tonight.
It is a nicely produced song. Whatever. Nice. Okay, fine. I think the sample is used well. The song is well written. It's well produced. I just can't disassociate from the original thing.
Fuck it, just like this body did tonight.
Okay, I enjoyed the song. Let's just say that. I just think you've got to be really careful when you're going to sample a song or when you're going to interpolate a famous song. You've got to be aware of the association that the listener is going to have with it. If I were to compare to somebody who has done similar stuff like Beyonce, so her song Summer Renaissance obviously samples the Donna Summer song, but she knows that everybody listening to that has an association of this disco queen, of this ethereal kind of thing, and then she writes something over the top that kind of takes it even further. That is like a way to use a sample, a famous sample, and know that the audience is going to have a certain association and then take them with that association to where she wants to go. Whereas with this song, the association is like more, it was like a annoying throw off kind of tune. Maybe I'm alone in this connection to it, but like I don't think he's thought in the same way that maybe Beyonce thought of when she did Summer Renaissance. Do you know what I mean? It feels like this is just like a sample that's used just because it's recognizable and just because that might make it a hit. That is kind of how I feel. And it kind of makes me feel kind of cynical about it because it's clearly not used for artistic purposes, you know? It's used for commercial. It goes against actually what the rest of the album, apart from maybe Rush, the rest of the album doesn't feel like that, you know? So it is a bit egregious. But the song is good. So that's the difficult thing, is that like the song itself, I think is good. I think had they just maybe used a different sample or maybe not used that sample and actually just like created their own synth with the same like or a similar kind of line, it might have still hinted at it enough, but it wouldn't have felt so out of place. That's what I feel about that. He's got the personality not even gravity could ever hold him down. He's got the sexuality of a man who can take a room and drown it out. So there's a powerful energy. Inching closer to sunrise, now we're standing eye to eye. I want to tell you what's on my mind. You just got me started and I don't think I can stop it. And I don't want to go home alone, all right? Oh, baby, boy, can we be honest? Kind of miss you using my body. Fuck it up just like this party did tonight. So there's a kind of sense of like self-destruction. He's obviously like really feeling it, and he's like, I need a hookup. I need something that's like free of emotion because my heart can't go there yet. I still feel too broken up about this previous relationship. Yeah, so I like how he's throughout the lyrics is actually embracing the kind of duality of that, you know. Yes, it's going out and having sex and having a great time, but like the reasons for it are slightly darker and slightly more like self-destructive, and I think he knows that. You know, cool. I like it. It's just, yeah, the sample is difficult to get past. Maybe like upon repeat listens, I'll kind of forget about the sample a bit, but at the moment I'm like, ugh. Yeah. Anyway, let's go to the next song. This is Silly.
I'm still little like that.
Cool.
Can you hit me back 'cause you really owe me?
Love the breathiness.
All the bodies on the floor.
Cool. Love the groove.
So you really knows me.
do you really think that they've done a really good job, like Troy and his producers, of like taking Troy's kind of vibe from his earlier work, the soft boy energy, bringing it up to date and kind of giving it this like new, slightly kind of oversaturated, cartoonish kind of lick of paint in the production that really elevates it for me. I think it's really well done. Yeah.
1, 2, 3, I'm a love junkie like that. I'm so
Fun. Yeah. Cool. God, I'm obsessed with the production. And I'm really enjoying the kind of danciness of it and the heaviness of the drums with his breathiness.
I'ma go with what I got, fill up my cup and shoot. Rewire my desire. So silly. Can you hit me back? 'Cause you really like that. 1, 2, 3, I'm a love junkie like that.
I'm obsessed with the production. Sounds like he sampled a game soundtrack. Don't think so, but like, that's what my first thought was. Nice. Yeah, I enjoyed that. Such a good vibe, like, really just so tightly well produced. I don't know whether the whole album is like by that same producer, but it feels like it has that kind of Swedish Max Martin sheen, but up to date. His proteges, his group of producers, -1, seems to be kind of moving it forward, but still with the tenets of like his production style, which is like super tight, super clean, you know, has like very strict rules, but has this like sheen to it, you know, which I really like. Yeah. Silly. Oh, you're silly. I'm still in it like that. Baby, I'm a love junkie like that. I'm so silly like that. Can you hit me back? Because you really want to know. So it's really stuck in that headspace still, and it's kind of like leaving a voicemail like, can you please just let me know, just hit me back, you know, even though there's like a sense of like, you know, you should be doing it. All the bodies on the floor collide. Everybody's out here looking right. The party's the only place that really knows me. I'm just trying to get outside this body. I still love me more than I should say. I'm just trying to put that shit away. Don't need anybody here to console me. I'm just trying to get outside of this. I like the sense of like the party being the context, but this is what's going on within his head, and that kind of feels like the way the songs are structured, with the beat and the groove and the rhythm of it, but with the intimacy of his like voice over the top, feels like it's replicating that feeling. The context is the party, the drums, the production, but the truth is what he's saying in the words, you know, and his melodies and stuff. It's really like nice. It feels like a concept in that way. I love that. Let's go on to the penultimate song. This is Honey. Okay. Nice. I'm feeling like a more optimistic energy. The backing vocals are giving me more of an optimistic vibe.
You know.
Ooh. I'm obsessed with the production of this album.
'Cause I feel so good around you. Can you imagine what we get up to? The speaker just let my body explain.
Yeah.
Your name does something we'll get to.
I really like this. There's a lot on this album that I really like. Yeah.
Give me a song and rock your body. A lucid dreaming, the recipe.
It kind of feels like maybe he's saying like, give me the alcohol or something, a bit of Dutch courage, so I can actually say what I need to say. Nice. I'm obsessed with the production of this album. I love that every single interesting kind of sound is tied down into the mix of the song. That had an interesting kind of metallic kind of sound to it, but like it was tied down by the side chain of the the kick drum. It just makes it feel so tight, like. Nice. Give me that honey, you got the recipe. It could be like a new romance that's giving him the courage to actually be truthful about how he feels. Nice. The fucking production of this album is sick. Nice. Oh, it's fucking great. Love it. Oh my god, there's so just like, oh yeah. Everything about that, it just felt golden. The vibes of it, the sound of it, like this big choir that was like produced within an inch of its life. Like it was tied down to the drum. It was like really had this kind of cool like remixing feel to it. Like they've resampled it and shoved it around and looped it and like kind of but it's all so fun and experimental, but like is tied down by the side chaining, by the kick. So side chaining is where you can set like a compressor which limits the loudness of one instrument. You can set it so it's triggered by a different instrument. And so if you had like my singing voice and the kick drum was triggering the compressor, then my singing voice would sound like you like that, you know? And that's what sidechaining is. And it's used a lot in like earliest it was used in like proper like heavy dance music, like EDM stuff. But I love hearing it used in kind of slightly different contexts to just make something that feels tight, you know, because it doesn't matter how experimental you get, doesn't matter how, you know, ambient stuff is. If you have that sidechain, it just makes it feel tight, you know? Production, I'm obsessed with the production. Give me the courage to say all the shit I mean. Give me a song to rock your body, a lucid dream. Justin Timberlake reference, presumably. Give me that honey love, you got the recipe. Okay. You know, I see love in every set space. I see sex in every city, every town. I wonder what us two could make. Something different about tonight. I could speak or just let my body explain. I'm getting close to satisfied. So it feels like he's moving on and learning to just embrace the kind of freedom in single life and freedom in like just exploring his sexuality. I've learned so much about you, don't know your name, but that's something we'll get to. Yeah, this is returning to the feeling of like Rush, you know? I wonder whether Rush actually is, I think it was probably put at the beginning of the album because it's the song, but like in terms of the actual track listing, that feels like something, the song Rush is something that he will have learnt later on, you know? I feel like he's starting to get past like the pain of the breakup and is starting to find the recipe, as he says in this, for a future, the recipe for like being able to be happily single, independent and go out and fuck around and have a great time, you know? And then Rush is really about like being right in that lusty moment, you know? Really cool, fucking great. And I feel like we've had a real progression where it's like, you know, he's managed to find some sort of optimism and some sense of growth out of like being alone, being single, whereas before he was feeling very lonely, you know, and that's a really satisfying place to go to. Before we go into the final song, this is a quick shout out to my patrons. These guys support me over on Patreon where they get a number of benefits, including getting the name in the video. They can also watch my videos unedited and early, and in the upper tiers you can actually request song, artist or album reactions from me, and everybody on the Patreon gets to watch all those videos, so you get a number of bonus videos every month as well. Also, I'm looking at potentially doing some kind of live stream every month. I think that might be quite a nice fun thing to do to kind of really connect with you guys over on Patreon, so look out for developments in the future as to more stuff that's going to be happening over on Patreon. But yes, so the link's in the description if you want to join in the community. Yeah. Okay, let's go on to the final song. This is How to Stay With You. Okay. Again, production, creative, interesting, cool.
Cut my garden down. Maybe when we're a little older.
Nice.
My brother might like you, just not in the same way I do.
Cute.
Fucked on this.
Okay.
Give me one more kiss.
Again, super fun, creative production. Feels youthful and playful. It's just great.
How to pull you in closer, in case it's not till we're older, that we feel like my mother might like you, in the same way I do.
Cute. Okay, so I feel like maybe he's met like a boyfriend he can take home to his mum, you know.
And I can't stop doing this.
Yeah, oh cute, he's so in love now, but with someone proper, someone who's not a dick. Oh, there's sax. Love it. I think he's definitely been listening to the 1975. Ugh. what a lovely place to end the album. It feels like he's managed to find some sense of freedom from this person that's like hung over him after they cheated on him and how after they broke up, and now he feels as free of that, and he can kind of, you know, he's free to kind of love again, you know. And it's like the beginning of something new. I just love the vibes. Like, it was just really laid back and really felt very healed, compared to like a lot of the rest of the album, which feels quite intense, which feels like it has like a lot of troubles. There are really vulnerable moments of like feeling like true loneliness and being very still caught on somebody else and being completely heartbroken. So to have something that feels easy, you know, even using like the saxophone, it's like easy like Sunday morning, you know. It's really giving like that kind of laid back Sunday in the park kind of vibe, you know. And yet, like, as with the rest of the album, it feels like it's still part of one thing. But I'm not going to go into that yet because I want to have a little look at the lyrics. Cut my garden down, I've got no flowers, but it's the thought that counts. So it's the going back to basics. Wish you lived a little closer. Maybe when we're a little older, we can set up shop back where you are. Or I can take you home. I feel like my brother might like you, just not in the same way I do. Boy, I wish you were the piece to get me out of the game. If I have to say what I mean, is it fair to say all of these visions impair my decisions and I can't stop? I'm a little bit fucked on this. I'm a little bit out of time to spend with you. Baby, turn around, give me one more kiss. I'm a little bit lost on how to stay with you. So he's found somebody new, and it's like complex. They live far away from each other. Maybe they can't spend that much time together, but it sounds like he has hope that he's going to be able to make it work. He's hoping that it's going to be like the piece to get him out of the game, you know, the thing that's going to stop him from constantly looking for a new boyfriend. Yeah, overall, like, just like fucking great. I really liked that. The whole album is produced brilliantly. Like, it feels like the entire thing works as one thing. It never goes off on a tangent too far. And like, even if it is experimenting, like having a song with no drums or something, it still is expertly crafted in a way that makes it feel like it's all part of the same world, you know? And I love the combination of like the drums combined, like the intense kind of dance vibes, but combined with intimacy and combined with his falsetto and his like really light voice, really is a really engaging contrast. And when you think about that in the context of going out partying, fucking around, but still not being able to get over your ex, that actually has like such an extra level of depth to it, where his voice represents him and his internal monologue in the context of the club, in the context of the party, and the context being represented by the production. It's just really like, just feels like it's really well considered and deep, you know? Yeah, and it's just, and the songs themselves are just like really well written and catchy without feeling trite or over the top, apart from that one egregious sample. I do think that the songs walk a brilliant balance between creativity, feeling new, but also having like a sense of like familiarity and a sense of real pop to them, you know. Love it. So good. One of the best this year, I think. It's definitely going to be up there. And so great to hear more music from the gay perspective that still seems to be completely underrepresented, which is mad to me. So my favourite song on the album, I'm going to give it to Can't Go Back Baby, because I adore the chords, I adore the really intimate, vulnerable sentiment of it, and I love the contrast between that feeling of like, I can't go back to how it was, I wish I could be over you, but the music marching forwards, life moving onwards without you. There's something really there that just speaks to a truth of having to move on even though you're not ready. Ugh, so good. And yeah, it's all about this contrast between the production and his vocals and the lyrics and stuff. So yeah, that's my favourite song on the album. Let me know what your top 5 are in the comments. I look forward to reading all of them. If you want to check out my reaction to Olivia Rodrigo's brand new album, then you can do that here. Or if you want to check out my reaction to Slater's brand new album, it's here.